We now know where Ruby Franke's children were on the day that her 12-year-old escaped from Jody Hildebrand's home. We also know what it was that Shari Franke had taken from the family home when Kevin tried to press charges on her for burglary. Police reports have now been obtained that show that the two middle children were not at Jody Hildebrand's home, and police were desperately searching for them. They ended up going to the Franke home and breaking down the door when no one was answering, and it was noted that there was significant damage when they entered the home. As you know, when Kevin Franke contacted the police to say that Shari Franke had burglarized his home, he tried to accuse her also of breaking down the door. After they searched the Franke home with no luck of finding the two girls, they ended up contacting the older sister, Shari Franke. They did find out that one of the children, one of the older girls, had left a local place of employment by telling her supervisor that she had a family emergency. After viewing surveillance footage from the place of work, they soon realized that this woman picked up the daughter. This is Pam Bodgen, and Pam actually works for Connections. This is her picture from the website. Police made contact with Pam, and she ended up having both of the girls at her home. She claimed that Ruby had called her and said that she had a family emergency and asked Pam to pick up both girls and asked if they could stay with her for some time. Pam said it wasn't an odd request because apparently she'd had both girls at her house before to do housework and chores. A DCFS worker gave the girls a choice of either going to a foster home or staying with their older sister, Shari, and apparently they didn't want to leave Pam's house at first, but they did soon decide to go with Shari. The DCFS worker and Shari then went to the Franke family home to get clothing for all four children. Shari was getting clothing for the two older, and the DCFS worker was getting clothing for the younger. While Shari was there, she did take several items. Apparently, the police did locate the items with Shari and she returned them, but we now know that what she took was 3 tablets, 3 cell phones, 3 cameras and GoPros, a stack of written journals, and 3 passports for Kevin, Ruby, and another one of their children. As soon as Kevin got home and found this out, he contacted the police, wanted them to press charges on her for burglary, and also apparently for breaking down the door. The police told him that that is not going to happen. Shari was allowed in the home previously, and he hadn't been there for 13 months. Kevin seemed to be most concerned about the electronic journals. He informed the police that none of these children were allowed in his home anymore, and he wanted all the items back. I think the biggest question now is wondering what was in those journals that Kevin was so worried about.